Hello and welcome to Synergy XR webcast podcast. We're trying off some new versions of what we're doing here. We really hope that you will receive it well. If you have any comments, suggestions, things you mean we can do to improve this format, please let us know. We're thrilled to have so many with us again and to hear us talk about some of the things that is important to us. And today we're going to focus especially on how to enhance technical skills training using VR. My name is Jakob Søderberg. I'm Chief Sales Officer here at Synergy XR. Listeners or viewers of this podcast know that I'm super focused on talking business value with businesses and how technology can create business value. If we can't do that, we're really not relevant. So that's kind of my main focus. I'm not alone in the studio, as some may have noticed already. With me today is my good friend and colleague, Lasse. Will you introduce yourself, please?
I sure will. And hello to you, Jakob, and thanks for the introduction. I'm Lasse. I'm a Customer Success Manager here at Synergy XR. I've been working here for the past 2 years. Very excited about the area I'm working in. And very excited about this webinar and letting you know a little bit more about how to get started with technical training in VR and how easy that is.
Yeah, and Customer Success Manager. Mm-hmm. So when are you usually introduced to new clients? And excuse me, I'm just super eager about being here, so sorry about that. No, so when do you often get involved in the process with new customers? Tell us a little bit about that.
So typically I get involved when a new customer has said, hey, let's do a cooperation together, let's work together. And then I'm introduced to the customer. Then we typically define the use cases that we want to run with. And then I kind of take over and run the projects alongside with the customer and helping them and supporting them as good as I can.
All right, cool. So kind of when the sales team have done the I don't want to say difficult part, but typically the long part of a sales process, you kind of come in and make sure that what me and my team have promised the customer
that we
actually is getting put into real life.
That we take good care of the customers. Yes. and that we do whatever we can to make the customer a success within this field.
All right, perfect. So let's jump on, and I think so. The purpose of today is to kind of talk about how easy it is to come from wanting to make things happen to actually doing them. We brought up a quote from Michael Jordan here. Some people want it to happen, some wish it would happen, others make it happen. And I don't want to talk about this as what we do, Synergy XR, because it's not us. It's the trailblazing companies we work with who are not afraid to thinking out loud and have ambitions. How can we use technology to actually implementing it? So that's going to be the purpose of today. So the ultimate goal of this is that by the end of, the next 25, 30 minutes, you will have an understanding of how easy it is to going from wanting to implement VR training in your toolbox to actually doing it.
Yeah, because I think that a lot of companies today, they think, hey, it might be, good to start training in VR to kind of look into that area, but they don't really dare to because they have an idea of that it's a very time-consuming, costly, cumbersome process to go through. Developing software, implementing new software is always a very big project, but it really doesn't have to be.
Yeah.
So
change
make it
is
happen.
Yeah, absolutely. Change is always something that everybody wants, but nobody wants to do. Mm-hmm. So we want to convey that message today that, hey, it's actually it's not that complicated. It's not that expensive. It doesn't require a whole lot of preparation or development time or anything. So let's jump a little further.
Closer look,
But before we actually go into that, why are we even talking about this? Why do VR training, when it comes to training technical skills, why does it matter? And some of the things we've been talking about earlier, and don't worry, we will come to something very concrete in a moment. Give us 30 seconds more. So the high picture is that what 800 hours, that's on a production side.
That's downtime in a manufacturing business. Average downtime per year. That's I did a little calculating before going into this meeting, and that's around 15 hours per week of downtime.
Yeah.
And, depending on how much each, hour or minute will cost you, this can be a very costly affair.
Yeah.
Looking into, just did a quick research looking into the automotive business.
Mm-hmm.
A minute of downtime is approximately $22,000.
Yeah.
So
1 minute, 22,000. Yeah. So if you
Yeah,
can
it's a
reduce
lot.
that number of minutes of downtime,
Yeah,
that's a good business case.
10%
Yeah.
is
It's crazy. I know we work with another great company here in Denmark, FL Smith, and some of their customers also have pretty high. I mean, we're talking rare earth minerals mining, and if a mine is not producing, it's unbelievably expensive per minute. So yeah, the production side of business, super important to lower that. That's a great business case. On the human side.
on the human side. Yeah,
What's going on there?
we also have some to gain. As you can see, 846,700 people are injured in manufacturing. Each year.
That's crazy.
So that has an impact not only, of course, on the company, but on the person itself, on the families, everybody around. It has a big impact on. And can we lower that number as well?
Yeah,
it's a win-win for all.
Absolutely. So one thing that is really a hot topic these days is a few days ago we celebrated World Safety Day. A worldwide celebration of focus, companies putting focus on health, safety, and environment, HSE or EHS, depending on what part of the world you come from. Yeah. But there is a strong focus to actually addressing that because it's first and foremost bad business if people get injured while working. It doesn't look good. It's bad publicity. Nobody wants to work for a company that doesn't take care of their employees. And ultimately, I mean, it's something that we all want to avoid. I mean, people getting injured, that's not fun. So from the production side, 800 hours of production downtime per year, and on average, 15 hours per week. If we can reduce that number, great business case right there. 846,700 people getting injured every year. That's a number we want to lower as well. So yeah, let's get into it then, and let's get started about talking how you can actually make that change that everybody wants to, and how to implement it. So
a quick note on the 846,000. That's in the US alone. So I think that's just worth mentioning. Looking at the number globally, I don't even want to think about it.
Yeah, no, let's not do that. Let's keep the spirit high for now, and perhaps jump into that a little later. So the number that we want to talk about today is the financial cost. What does this number cover, my friend?
25K is the number that covers how to get started with technical training in VR on our platform.
Yeah,
Synergy XR.
That's not bad. That's a low number, right?
That's a low number compared to how we used to do it and how many other companies are still doing it.
Yeah.
The whole development process and the cost is very high when we look at the traditional way of creating these trainings within VR.
Yeah.
But we have come up with another solution.
Yeah, and not to throw anyone under the bus, or actually let's do that just for fun. But we can start with ourselves, because that's pretty much our business that we're gonna throw under the bus that we've done since 2008 up to 2018.
Exactly.
And hey, that's a great business, but it's not scalable, and we want to make companies change. We want to enable companies to lower their downtime. We want them to prevent work injuries. And if we can build a platform that enables that quicker, faster, cheaper, then I think we're in a good place. But let's have a look at what it used to look like to go from, hey, let's implement VR training as part of our standard toolbox when onboarding new employees. What does that look like? So this is one example.
Yeah, and I'm not going to walk you through this model, because just looking at the model, this spinning wheel of death, it kind of makes my head spin as well. But I understand that people, when looking into a process like that, or companies in general, that it can be frightening, and many of them they say, oh, let's wait with that. We're not ready for that yet. We don't have time for that, and so on and so on, because it is time consuming, costly, and to be honest, I wouldn't want to do it myself either.
No.
So
you could easily do a business from our viewpoint and have a great business doing this. Actually, we did for quite some years. But as a company, and again, this is the core of our DNA, that we want companies to be able to make decisions quickly. So instead of thinking, oh, we need to implement VR training, first we need to assemble a team, then we need to hire some developers who can build something because it's too expensive to have someone like Synergy XR to build it for us. Then we need to figure out what's the project gonna be, and ultimately we're gonna do a whole lot of things. And best case scenario, 6-12 months down the road, we have something that we can start testing, a prototype. And who knows what the world looks like in 6 to 12 months. I mean, I can easily imagine that 6 months ago or 12 months ago, we started a project that now has become obsolete because of technology development, because of
the
macro
needs
things.
As well, right?
Yes. So the ability to quickly start implementing things that can be used is super important.
Yeah. Time to value.
Yep.
Is crucial.
Time to market. I mean, time to getting dirt under your nails and having real feedback. So yeah, this is a traditional way of developing. And then there's the other way of doing it. 3 easy steps to VR training with Synergy XR.
Yeah, that looks so much more like the model I want to look at.
Yes. Yeah, I can understand. I think actually you made this model, but or was it with a little help from our marketing department?
Maybe a little help. Yeah.
Okay. So and again, we want to make sure that if you listen to this doing your gardening, driving your car, or for some other reason not have the ability to see what we're sharing here, perhaps just describe what we're looking at here so that listeners also have a sensation of what we're talking about.
Yeah, so when we talk about our platform, then we have a license-based platform that you first and foremost need to kind of buy into. So that's the Synergy XR platform part of it. And then on top of that, we can then build your tailor-made training.
Yeah.
And what we need for that is 3D models, a video describing, showing what the training, the procedure should be like. And then from there, it's more or less 3 or 4 weeks. And then you can have a training on top of our platform, because we have done the basics first, that we deliver that with the platform.
Yeah.
So all the tricky parts that usually needs to be developed on a custom application, we already did it.
Okay.
So it's ready to run.
I think even we have a slide that paints an even more detailed picture about what you're saying right there.
Yep.
But just to kind of finish this slide that we're looking at here. So we have the ready to use out of the box platform already. If we need to build a training for a company with a very specific need, and I know that we're going to dive into that in more detail later, but kind of high level, what are the things we need from the company?
Well, as mentioned, we need 3D models.
Yeah.
If they got it.
Yeah.
If not, we can build something from scratch, but obviously 3D models will be preferable, and most companies that we work with, they have 3D models of their equipment.
Yep.
And then again, just a handhold video recording from it could be from a phone, from a a person going through the training that needs to be done in VR, and maybe add a few words on, hey, why do we do this and how do we do it, and then we actually have enough to give an estimate, right?
Yeah. And then we need 28 months to come up with a prototype, or how fast can we deliver?
56 months. No.
Yeah.
Once we have the material, we have done an estimate. There's a go from the customer. Then it is 3 to 4 weeks.
Yeah.
And I know you keep asking about that.
Yeah, I know,
but
because
it is 3 to 4 weeks.
Yeah, and happy to prove it. If anyone out there wants to do business, let's prove that we're not just two sales guys having a conversation here.
Yeah,
it's actually that quick.
I just want to add a quick note on the total cost.
Yeah,
25K. Yeah, that's including the platform. But
yes,
but you can have multiple trainings on top of the platform. So the second and the third and the fourth training that you deliver or have made on the platform will not be 25,000 then.
No.
That would be lower, of course.
I think actually the next slide is going to dive a little deeper into that. Let's have a look. Yes.
Yeah, there you are.
So what are we looking at here, Lasse?
Well, it's kind of the difference between the development process, time, cost of a custom solution and doing a custom training on our platform or developing it on our platform. So typically, when you look at the bottom, you have the custom solution, the big black box that actually represents what the feature set, so to say, that our platform brings out of box.
Yeah.
So if we take a look at the platform
framework
in the right corner, platform, customer support, multi-user, content management, user management, feature updates, and so on and so on. So a lot of things that are required just as a basic to actually be able to put on top the training that you need.
Yeah,
that's a big black box that takes time to
so you
develop.
Need to develop that every time, actually, from scratch. If you're doing custom solutions, you need to figure out what devices do we need to use for this.
Yeah, what platform should it
run
on?
Should it be multi-user or only single user? I mean, we already did that. So
we did that. So that's actually the small blue boxes that you see. That's the platform.
Yeah.
That we provide, and then on top you have an orange column
/ red. I don't know. That could be the next big thing on the internet. Yeah. Is it orange? Is it red? Let's figure that out and make it go viral.
Make a webinar about that. Yeah. That's the technical training. So that's a custom part.
Yeah. So we start from day one building the technical training that you need, and not building a framework that everybody needs, because we kind of already did that.
Exactly, the basics are there.
And in this case, so this, I think there's 12 blocks here, so one per month of a year. So in this case, we're actually building 4 different technical trainings. That could be 4 different product lines that you want people to do, or 4 different safety procedures.
Yes.
But we can do that at a fraction of the price of building a new feature for every training or new solution.
And the quick viewer might have noticed that the blue boxes are getting bigger and the orange / red boxes are getting smaller. and that's because we are developing constantly on the standard platform or on our basic platform, so to say. Developing the feature set, doing new releases maybe 4 times a year.
Yep.
With just making the feature set bigger and bigger. But that also means that the custom part will be more time friendly to produce and cost friendly to produce as well.
Yeah, the production part of us building the technical training, we can do that quicker and quicker, since a lot of the things are built into the platform that we need, because we constantly improve that.
Yeah, and just be aware that the license fee for the platform will remain the same, even though we provide.
Yeah, we may do an adjustment based on inflation and so forth, but until now we have been really bad at doing that. But said the chief sales officer, I don't know what's wrong with that, but pretty much everything. But we are cheap, and we should probably increase the price just with a fraction once in a while. But let's see if we get to that. I'm much more focused on actually delivering business value to the companies we work with. So yeah, this is kind of the quick walkthrough of the platform versus the custom solution side of business, and why it makes sense to kind of build on a platform. So let's jump a little further and talk about what we need from you, the customer. If you are kind of thinking, hey, I want to do that change, but up until now, the technology hasn't been there, or we haven't had the budget, or it's been too expensive, it's been too time cumbersome. Let's have a conversation about what we need from the customer to be able to do this.
Yeah.
And I mean, you're there every time we have a new customer. So walk us through this little...
So first of all, we are dealing with people. And of course, we need the expert and contact person from a company. The daily contact person with whom we can have the discussions and forth and back. But the expert is really important, because those are the ones with the domain knowledge, so to say. We don't have that on each business. So it's really the expert deciding and showing the path for the correct training here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, again, this touches upon one of the other things that I think we've spoken on previous sessions or previous episodes of this webinar series. One of the challenges that a lot of companies, especially manufacturing companies, are facing these days is exactly this, that, hey, we have a group of experts who have, over the last many years, accumulated a lot of knowledge about how to actually do great products, whether it's in manufacturing or in the energy sector that we also work with. And they're facing a great thing for them. They are old enough to considering going on retirement, but the companies they work with are facing this tremendous challenge, that all that knowledge that they have accumulated over the years, how do they capture that and make it accessible for the next generation of employees? Exactly.
And how do they keep the quality standard at the same height, And that's also a thing with that VR training does. You always maintain the same level of quality when doing training.
Yeah.
Because there's not much knowledge going to waste here.
Hopefully not. Then we haven't done our job good enough, if that's the case, and we usually do a very good job. So capturing that knowledge, it's super crucial for companies that want to kind of capture all that great knowledge that have been accumulated over the years. So we have the expert, of course. We have the contact that kind of is our and your daily liaison within the organization. And then we have a great team of people here at Synergy XR who, as always, work tremendously hard to make sure that we deliver great quality at a reasonable time. And you can kind of lean towards our entire organization to make sure that everything runs smoothly. Cool. So that's kind of the people-wise. What about digital assets and so forth? Let's have a look at what we need here.
Yeah, as mentioned earlier, basically what we need are 3D models and videos explaining how the training should be.
Yeah.
We have put in scans here because there might be some companies that say, hey, we don't have any 3D models, or the machinery that we want to train on is so old that we don't have any 3D models on it. So what can we do? Well, actually, for a customer, we did some 3D modeling work based on a scan they did around an assembly line.
Yeah.
So they simply just took out their phone. There's a LiDAR scanner in in the new iPhone Pros. They did a quick scan, and based on that scan, we could build up the model.
Okay, so you don't have to invest in a 300,000 euro scanner and spend 3 months learning how to navigate that. You can just pull a phone out,
and do some
download
scans.
a free Polycam, Scaniverse, something similar scanning software, and do a scan. Yeah, that's amazing. So technology is really working for our advantage here.
Exactly.
So either you have the 3D objects or you do a scan, and either one, perhaps a combination, can be used.
And if you don't have a scan either, or can do a scan either, then a quick mock-up of the machinery or the production line, with measurements, some pictures and so on, then we can build on top of that, of course. But of course, the time-wise and cost-wise, 3D models will be preferred.
Yeah. So key takeaway: if you don't have 3D models,
we'll figure something out.
Yes.
No worries.
Okay. Yeah. And of course, videos is also
videos. Yeah. As mentioned before, a quick video done with a phone, explaining quickly what
the procedure
the
that
process
you want
itself,
to,
so to say, add some words to it.
Yes.
Why do you do what you do, and what do you do?
Yeah.
And then we can basically use that for creating the procedure or the training itself.
So it's super simple to actually getting started.
Yeah.
So if you have 3D objects, I know we have a little slide that just talks really fast into getting from like a step file.
Yeah, most companies they have their 3D models as a CAD format, and we use what we call a mesh format. 3D model.
Now you're talking a language that I don't understand,
and I don't want to bore people with it, because the key takeaway here is that just let us have your CAD formats, right? Yeah. And then we will do the conversion. We will do the optimization of what's needed for the models to work in our platform.
And I think so. So key takeaway again is, hey, even if you don't have the 3D asset in an output that we can use directly, just give us what you have, and we'll convert it. We've been doing that for more than 10 years. So again, I can speak for the organization. We have a pretty skilled team of people who've been doing this for a lot of time, and we're using different tools here to add layers, to add textures, to add mesh. Was the word you just used? Yes. All right. So and the purpose with all this is kind of going from this. I think everybody have seen a cat drawing, which is just like tiny lines. But using VR as a tool for training, you need to have a very realistic version of that 3D model. So adding shine, adding textures, adding something that makes it
light, shadows, everything. Yeah.
Everything to make it look realistic, and then you can really start exploring VR.
We can even add sound.
Oh yeah, that's nice. With the release 2.4, we are adding ambient sounds to. That's gonna be fun. Are we allowed to say this now already? Yeah. We're good
because we actually released it with 2.3.
Oh
yeah.
Oh really? Okay. I'm not. Oh yeah. Okay. Well, fair enough. Bummer, but okay. Moving on. That's that's how we come from like a 3D model CAD to something that is very realistic in VR. The video that we kind of need from the customer, I think you mentioned it a little bit.
I mentioned it earlier, the process itself, but also again back to the sound.
Yeah,
is there a background ambient sound going on the production floor? What's the sound, when you pull a lever, push a button, whatever. It's so much easier with a video than you having, or the customer having to explain, hey, it's this and that sound, Just let us have a video, and
so I know we've been talking about this before, the whole muscle memory, that's a really important part of using VR for training, since you activate your muscles and you actually learn how to do different items. And now we're introducing sounds as well. So you're not only activate your muscles, but also like your hearing, which is also one of the senses. Primal senses. I think. When will we support like smells and I should ask our CTO that question. That could be interesting. I think there's already some VR solutions out there where you can add like different scents to what you do. Let's put that aside for another great webinar. How to add scents in your VR training. That could be fun. But again, like we're seeing here, this is the end result of a video that one of our customers took on a Loto procedure. Again, it's to make sure that you turn on the air pressure, you turn on the voltage, the power.
Or actually, you turn off the air pressure and
you turn it off. Thank you very much. Yes, so that's why.
That's all.
I'm not you. That's why it's you helping our customers.
That's what the Loto is about. You know?
Yeah, it's all about making sure you don't get injured. That's why I have a desktop job and not in a factory floor, because I would get injured really quick, unless I was training in VR, of course. So yeah, this is a Loto procedure that we did for one of our customers. Let's just highlight once more the timeline, the process from where we are.
Yeah. So let's assume that we get the material needed for creating this training, the video, the 3D models, and so on. And then we have the project start, so to say, and from that point we will be start building, and 1 to 2 weeks from that point we actually have a version ready to test. And of course we are more than happy to see our customers in the office. They can come here and they can test together with us, or we can share a build with them, and we can do the testing together in VR.
Yeah. And now you say VR, I mean, this slide, we're looking at a slide here with a timeline that has a project start, a test and feedback and delivery, everything within 3 to 4 weeks already. And the end result, I see more than a set of VR goggles here. I see also like a Windows computer, and it looks like an iOS phone and a tablet, or a really big phone. I'm not sure.
So just going back to the test and feedback. Once we have received the feedback from the test, we will of course do the necessary corrections that the customer has. Yeah. Could also last 1 to 2 weeks, and then we have a final or a ready to launch product, so to say, that we will release on top of our platform, making it accessible for the customer. And of course, out of box, it will be available on the devices that you see, a PC, iOS devices, and headsets. Quest 2 or Quest Pro headset at the moment. Yeah. And that is a standard. It's like that. So again, going back to the custom solution, where you have to decide, okay, which platforms do I need this? What does that cost? And so on and so on. You don't need to think about that. It's just out of box.
And what happens when a new version of the Quest comes? Do I need to pay someone to update my already paid for solution to support that? Yeah. So
no worries.
All right, so I think this is a great visualization of actually the speed of delivery, and I think let's take that one more time. The speed of delivery is actually very important if you want to make changes, and again, think weeks instead of months when we talk about projects like this. All right, so we're working with great companies here, and I know that we're under NDA with most of them, actually, but we're allowed to say that we work with these companies. I know that Isover actually have been very open about the work we've done with them.
They are so kind that we're allowed to talk about it.
Yes,
also because they're very proud of what they are doing, and they're very much focused on safety. And we saw it on the slides earlier. The Loto training, the lockout tagout training. Yeah. What needs to be done on a production line? What do we have to turn off and secure before we can actually open the gates and go into the machine itself and do maintenance on it.
Without any risks of
without any risks. So that's of course a goal for Isover, that
turning off air pressure instead of turning it on before you enter. And
so it's a priority for Isover that all employees go through this training. Yeah.
And I know they have pretty high ambitions also in terms of making it accessible for other parts of their organization and what they do. So it's not only one specific Loto training; it's also a lot of other things they wanna add VR training as part of their standard toolbox. Yes. Yeah. I don't think, Grundfos, I think we have a few examples with them as well, but let's just move on. We're super proud to work with these companies that are not afraid of embracing new technology to make sure that they are on the forefront, because I think companies who are hesitant to new technology, they may fall a little behind, and that's not just because I want to sell some software. I do, but I think that historically we actually have a pretty good case in showing that companies are really... They need to embrace new technology. We talked a little bit about the automotive industry, and I think a lot of very conservative auto manufacturers are now looking to a certain American car manufacturer to kind of,
one of that who is.
What did they do that we can potentially learn from? Did they embrace new technologies? Perhaps. So I think everybody is looking in the Tesla direction, at least from an auto manufacturing perspective. To kind of learn what's going on there, to not fall behind. So yeah, we work with great companies. I think I've mentioned that, but let me just mention it again. We work with great companies, and we're super proud of this. So let's have a look at the different packages that you can actually choose from to get started.
Yeah, so we have the license package again. The basic feature set, so to say, to be able to build a custom-made training on top of it. And then we have divided it into the 3 categories: low complexity, medium complexity, and high complexity training, all with their different price tags on it.
Yeah. Walk us through what's the difference between a low complexity technical training compared to a high complexity technical training.
Well, the 3 kind of main factors that we look into when we assess a training is the model work that needs to be done, 3D models. So again, going back to the 3D models.
Going from CAD to something that looks realistic, or?
Yeah, and
or the
first
accessibility.
Of all, the accessibility.
Do we have
3D models? Do we need to make them from scratch?
Yes.
Or do you have 3D models that we can work with? Right. That's one thing. The length of the training, the procedure training itself. How many steps?
Oh yeah, first do this, then that. Take this item, move it from here, then take another item, add it to here, and
exactly. Is it like 10 steps, or is it 110 steps?
Yeah.
Of course, also has an impact on the price.
Of course.
And then lastly, the complexity of each step. So when you pull this lever or press this button, what actually happens?
Yeah.
How complicated is that to develop, so to say? Those are the 3 main factors that determines the price.
Okay, and again, to make it easy for a company who's potentially sitting out there celebrating World Safety Day the other day and say, oh, we need to decrease the amount of injuries. How can we do that? Potentially, we should add VR as part of our training curriculum. Instead of waiting for us to spend 3 or 4 weeks to come up with a proposal, this is what we need. We've kind of divided it into these very simple packaging structures, so that either you have a low complexity, and we don't need a whole lot of time to kind of define whether your need is low or high complexity. We can do that pretty fast.
Again, back to the video.
Yeah.
Let's see a video of the procedure.
Exactly.
Let's just have a quick glance at what 3D models you can provide us.
Yeah.
And then we can quickly estimate that project. Is it a low, medium, or high complexity training?
Yeah.
It doesn't take that long.
So to conclude this, I hope we manage with the ambition of making it visible how easy it is to not only getting started, but also how quickly you can start implementing your great ideas. So getting from we want to do this to we're doing it.
Yeah.
Think weeks, not months. Think 25k euro instead of 200k euro.
Unless you already have the licenses.
Then it's even cheaper.
Then it's even cheaper than 25k.
Wink, wink, existing customers. Let's, we can, So if you already, and we see that within some of our companies that one part of the organization buys licenses from us, and then another part of the organization says, hey, we want to use XR technology for something as well. Yeah. And then you have a suddenly much lower cost per nose than anywhere else. So there's a lot of potential in working across different parts of the organization. So I think on that high note, let's.
That's an old picture of you, isn't it?
No. It's only like 10 years old, I think.
Okay.
But yeah. Using glasses now. I think the hair climbed a little. But thank you so much again for joining us on these sessions. It's always a pleasure being here in the studio with you, Lasse. And to all of you, don't forget to write any comments, suggestions, or anything that we can do to improve this format of this, so we can keep improving also what we're doing here. That's kind of our primary purpose here. So thank you very much for today, and hope to see you again at a later point. Thank you very much. Now let's get back to this interesting thing we were talking about.
So your picture? Oh.
No, yes. No, yeah, it is. I think it is 10 years old, by the way. So it's, yeah.